it do, guys? It's your boy Dream Team Neil.
And your boy Darren, we back with another video. Guys, we got a special one here. You know, we were just talking about this guy, Mr. John Stockton. You know, great point guard.
Yeah.
And hey, would you say the assist leader?
All-time leader in assists. Nobody's gonna catch John.
He number one. How many he got? You know?
I don't. I wish I did. I know he's so far in front of the second.
If I were to guess, I think it would be like 15,000 or something like that or more.
Probably, bro.
Because I feel like I saw a list come out or something. I probably on 2K and seen it. But
yeah.
So we're gonna say about 15,000 plus.
Oh, he's not getting broken, bro. It's just
especially now since the point guards are scorers.
Exactly, exactly.
And some of them don't have a Karl Malone to hand the ball off to. So. I said, man, that helps out a lot when you got a guy like Karl Malone who can average like 30 or 40 points.
Big time.
So,
big time.
John Stockton, we finna check him out. I do remember him being on the Dream Team and him being like that ordinary guy on the team type of thing. So nobody even knew he was on the team. He's a basketball player type of thing. But y'all hit that subscribe button. Send us recommendations. Let's check it out.
For the basketball purists, John Stockton was the best point guard in NBA history, and their main argument is Stockton's 2 unbeatable NBA records, the number of career assists and steals. Here's the story of a guy that
I think J. Kidd's second, ain't it?
How he trained his mind and body to become like a computer on the court, and one of the toughest players ever at 6'1". This is the career retrospective of John Stockton.
Easy.
How good was he actually, and how would he fare in today's NBA?
Be like a Steve Nash.
NBA. John Stockton has been underrated all his life. He was a small, skinny kid who never should have dominated on the basketball court, and yet outworked everybody, and soon became better than guys much bigger and more athletic than him. In addition to basketball, he played baseball and football as a kid, and had an opportunity to become a great quarterback. Still, his genius on the basketball court, and an average of 23 points per game in the senior year of high school, led to several colleges offering him a scholarship. Stockton graduated from Gonzaga Prep in 1980 and opted to stay home in Spokane, Washington, and join Gonzaga University. Gonzaga has a famous basketball program now, but for a long time, they were known just for John Stockton. Stockton did not have...
It's crazy, man, because Gonzaga is that team now.
Oh, everything. You expect them to win.
Exactly, because they get some good recruits now.
Facts.
A free summer throughout his career, and every year, his ritual was the same. During July, he trained for 2 hours a day. In August, it went to 5 hours every day. When his college friends were going out and drinking, he spent his days shooting in the gym. When they asked him why he doesn't relax a little,
Sound like Damian Lillard.
He only had a small chance to play in the NBA, and that he wanted to be completely ready if that opportunity arose. John averaged 20.9 points and 7.2 assists as a senior, and became the first player in Gonzaga history to register 1,000 points and 500 assists.
Nice.
Stockton was then drafted in the 1984 NBA draft, arguably the strongest draft in NBA history. Olajuwon was the first pick, Jordan was third, and Barkley went fifth. Stockton was selected 16th overall by the Jazz. The following year, the Jazz drafted Karl Malone. During their years together, Stockton and Malone would become the deadliest guard-forward pairing in the NBA. NBA career. One big constant.
That's interesting.
When Stockton first came to Utah after the draft, he immediately asked the Jazz coaching staff to give him all available VHS tapes of Jazz games from last season. He studied their plays all summer, and when the training camp started, John knew every offensive and defensive set, how everybody moved, and where his teammates liked to get the ball. This was 1984, and the habit of watching tape was basically non-existent. Stockton was different. During my entire rookie season, I expected to be cut, and that's why I came so prepared. There was no relaxation for me. I think I was the player who spent the least money in one season ever. I rented the cheapest possible apartment. I didn't buy anything in it. I didn't even turn on the heat.
Gotta save that money anyway. Why?
That boy did not think he was gonna have a long career in the NBA.
And I don't blame him because he's like, I ain't got no endorsement. I ain't got. Man,
I swear to God,
I'm gonna need this whole check to stretch. The whole year, that first check price stretched him the whole year.
That's crazy.
The bench in his first 3 seasons, averaging 7 points, 7 assists, and just 2 turnovers in 21 minutes per game. He didn't do anything flashy on the court. There were no behind-the-back passes or crazy crossovers. Everything he did was fundamentally sound. and his highlights were often just simple bounce passes with perfect timing. When he became a starter for the 1987-88 season, John immediately led the league in assists with 13.8 and just 3 turnovers. He averaged 15 points a game, but he took less than 10 shots, with 57% shooting from the field. From 1988 until 1996, one man led the league in assists each year, and that was Stockton, breaking Bob Cousy's record for leading the league in assists with 9 consecutive years.
Cousy, that's the other one that's on that top 75 list. That's the other one. I remember hearing his name.
Best marks for most
Don't know what he
assists in
did,
the season. 7 belonged to Stockton, and these are just some of his passing records. Stockton was also the only point guard in the league setting picks on much bigger players, absorbing the blows with his 6'1" body to free up teammates. Charles Barkley once said that Stockton sets the hardest picks in the league, and when Barkley says that, it means something. Yeah, Stockton was dirty, and he took every little chance to trip you, elbow you, and gain some kind of advantage. But because he was always outmatched physically, he almost had to be dirty to succeed. The Jazz made the playoffs 19 years in a row, and both Stockton and Malone
knocking out
know what it's like to miss the postseason. During their tenure, the Jazz was a top 3 seed in 8 seasons, and their 64 wins in 1997 are still the franchise record. Coach Jerry Sloan wanted perfection, and he coached the Jazz with an army-like mentality, which suited his 2 All-Stars in Karl and John. There was no load management, no playing less than 100%. They played the regular season like it's the playoffs, and John Stockton never allowed his troops to slack off. During those 19 years, John didn't change a single thing. His neatly combed short hair was always the same. He trained rigorously, and he was the only player who kept playing in those ultra-short 80 shorts a decade after everybody switched to longer ones. Stockton became the NBA's all-time assists leader.
It's crazy because the shorts are getting shorter now.
Surpassing Magic Johnson's 9,921 dimes. When he broke Magic's record...
hold on, my fault. He think he said 9,000 when he broke...
Stockton became the NBA's all-time assists leader in 1995, surpassing Magic Johnson's 9,921 dimes.
Dang.
When he broke Magic's record, Stockton didn't want the game to stop to be honored. The fans gave him a standing ovation, and he waved his hand briefly so that the game could continue. The following season, Stockton also surpassed Maurice Cheeks as the all-time record holder in steals. In 1997 and 1998, Utah played the best basketball in the West, won the #1 seed each year, and went to the NBA Finals. When he made the buzzer-beating three-pointer against Barkley and Olajuwon in the 97 playoffs for a series win and a place in their first finals, it was the only time where we have ever seen him lose his cool and show a lot of emotions on the court. And then in the finals, a lack of experience, lack of luck, and Michael Jordan declined the Jazz and Stockton the privilege to win a ring. But those series were much closer than people think. Almost every game was decided in the final minute. And Phil Jackson always said that the 2 finals against Utah were the hardest of the Bulls' 6 titles. From 1998, when he was 35, and 2003, the final year of his career at the age of 40, Stockton still averaged 50% shooting. He still played hard on defense and delivered crisp passes at the perfect place and the perfect time. But he never looked at his stats and was never interested in the personal accolades. All that mattered to him is for his team to win.
I wonder if he know he #1 in assists. I'm #1. What?
After his final NBA game, a playoff loss in Sacramento in 2003, Stockton was asked to summarize his feelings about retiring without an NBA title. A lot of this is about the journey, he said. We worked very hard and haven't done it, and yet I feel a lot of reward out of the effort that it took to compete. The uniqueness of John Stockton. Stockton saw everything on the floor 3 steps ahead. His combination of passing precision, pace control, endurance, and tough defense were unmatched in the NBA. He was the maestro of the pick and roll when pick and roll was a novelty, and his 1-2 combination with Malone was one of the surest bets in the league for a decade. Stockton was hard as nails, and you could see that in the physicality of his play and how hard he would throw his body on drives, trying to force contact and create separation. Defensively, he was a nightmare for the opposing guards, an annoying pest who didn't mind diving for the ball, making hard fouls.
He looks so much smaller.
Everything.
People are often praising LeBron and Durant for being so dominant and efficient at an advanced age. But these guys are freaks of nature. Stockton shot 51.5% from the floor in his career, weighing 170 pounds. And in retrospect, he should have probably taken a lot more shots himself. If he played in today's pace and spacing, John could have easily cashed several threes per game. And he was one of the first players to shoot pull-up threes in half court and semi-transition. Out of his physical attributes, he had only 2 advantages: enormous ET-like hands and fingers, which helped him control the ball and throw passes with one hand, and the second was a resting heart rate of 35 beats per minute, twice less than the average man of his size. It was part of the reason why he was always composed and why he could play with the same intensity at the end of the game.
My guy didn't need an energy drink or nothing.
Stockton always flew under the radar, similar to Tim Duncan and Moses Malone, one of the most underrated centers ever. That's how John preferred it. For 19 years in the league, he never had an agent, and he negotiated all of his contracts. Managers, PR, personal assistants, a 10-person entourage, forget it. This was not Stockton's style, and he was Kawhi Leonard.
He needed all that money.
Jeez.
He needed it all for sure.
That's crazy.
Assistants, a 10-person entourage, forget it. This was not Stockton's style, and he was Kawhi Leonard before Kawhi Leonard. He just played as hard as he could, and after the game, he was the same old John, a nice, respectable guy who gave boring answers to the media so he could be left alone and go home to his family. When asked about his favorite moment from his stay with the Dream Team in Barcelona, Stockton replied, "One girl on the street asked me to take a picture of her with Charles Barkley. She thought I was some tourist." Legacy. John Stockton is an example that hard work pays off. This small, skinny white guy missed just 22 games in a 19-year career, 18 of which in one season due to a knee injury, which is also the only serious injury of his career. He is without a doubt the best pure point guard ever. John is #1 all-time in career assists. That's not even close, with Jason Kidd in second place with almost 4,000 assists behind him. The same as in steals, where Stockton is the only man with over 3,000 steals, with 550 more than Kidd at #2. With 10.5 assists per game, he's one of only 2 players to average double-figure assists for their career. He once had 11 assists in one quarter, and that was in a playoff game. Stockton's other assists include most in a season, 1,164, the highest average for a season, 14.5, and most seasons leading the league in passing. He also shared the record for most assists in a playoff game with 24, and is tied for 3rd for most assists in a regular season game with 28. If he played in the point guard era of today, he could have easily averaged 20 every year because of his phenomenal shooting ability. But all he wanted was to create perfect shots for his teammates.
Yeah,
I swear that I never got a bad pass from Stockton. He never threw the ball behind my back, in my legs, in front of me. Every pass was right in my hands, and I just needed to shoot. Jeff Hornacek. Stockton's assists were never for the crowd to go wild. They were, above all, purposeful. No one knew how to throw a better bounce pass than Stockton. The only time he made a flashy move was when it was the only way for his teammate to catch the ball. I often took him for granted because I knew I would get ideal passes from him every game. He always made me better. No one gave him anything. He earned everything himself. Karl Malone. Gary Payton, a Hall of Famer and one of the best defensive players ever, said that Stockton was the hardest player for him to guard, and not Michael Jordan.
I remember that.
Dang. Nah, that's John Stockton. Man, 4,000. Jason Kidd, second.
Yeah, he ain't getting caught, bro. He's not getting caught.
I would have thought Chris Paul would have, but Chris Paul ain't have no good team, no good centers, and a good crowd for it, so he been having to score.
Oh, everything.
Man, that's good. That's what's up. I knew he was up there, but I didn't know he was 4,000 ahead of the second. Shoot. Maybe your boy LaMelo can do it when he start dropping downs, man. I don't know.
I said the man played 19 years and missed 22 games. I don't know if it's gonna be somebody else to do that.
Man, I mean, shoot. Kareem finna get caught, but what LeBron going on year 20 right here, 21?
I think it's year 20. I feel like
20.
It might be
somebody 20 seasons. Took somebody 20 seasons to get him.
Oh, everything. You see, LeBron done had to go to the finals like 8-9 times in a row to do all that.
So, man, if somebody catch him, they definitely gotta be focused on straight assists.
That's
every
it.
Time.
That's it.
For him to only start what he started 3 years after he got drafted and just went on from there.
Crazy.
That's crazy. But
absolutely crazy.
Yeah, dang. Jason Kidd could have. I don't know. Then Jason Kidd had to pretty much start getting buckets. True. He became like a short corner 3 shooter when he went with the Mavericks.
When he go to Dallas,
he became a spot up shooter over there. But this was definitely good, man. John Stockton definitely, because he lead in assists and steals, you got to put him in the Hall of Fame. Got to put him in the top 75 players. You know, if we was to split off in point guards, he definitely a top point guard of all time. Gotta be. You know, even though he just looked like he, work at the bank, but he's still great. He's still great. Still great for sure. But that's all we have for this video. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations. Hey, we out of here.